we had to first devise the program. It was something we didn't have.
And how come that wasn't a priority?
It was a priority.
And it only can happen now?
That's when we got everyone together, everybody's input, we brought teachers together, and even identifying the students after the first
Well,
trimester.
that's really sad
scores.
for our district.
We-
Okay, that's not
we-
the only question I have,
Okay.
but that, your answer is sufficient, thank you. Also, how many minutes of intervention do they get at lunchtime when they have to eat also? And are individual needs met, or are they just all thrown together? I mean, how are you getting these students for the area of skill they need to be serviced? I don't understand that.
I'm not part of the academic intervention during the lunchtime, how it's taking place.
Who is?
But it's our academic clinicians at the middle school.
Could I have the
Yeah.
names, please?
Mr. Malafine?
Absolutely. So what we're doing during the lunch intervention is, part of it is, to answer your question regarding lunch, we want to make sure that kids are fed. So kids are always going to pick up their lunch and they walk over to the intervention because we want to make sure that they have a nutritious meal. Then in terms of the skill sets, what we're finding out is that a lot of the kids that are not doing well academically is a big hurdle for them is organization skills and not turning in their homework. For example, in science, one of the hardest things kids have is not submitting their science notebook. So basically, what our academic clinicians are doing with them is they're working with teachers and they're working with students to make sure that all those assignments are turned in. If they do have some deficiency with math, our academic clinicians have math textbooks, they have the English textbooks, so they support the kids as they go. But it is at about a 20 to 25-minute intervention because of lunch.
And how many students, are you taking all 25 kids? No, it says here like 55, I believe I read.
We're taking the most at-risk students right now
And
because
so are all of those kids just put in there at once and there's somebody there that's dealing with all their needs
actually
in
there's
25 minutes?
actually what we've done is because we're gonna have small groups. We have 2 academic clinicians in there, and the groups range about 20 kids, so they have a lot of one-on-one attention. And we broke up. We have 4 days, so we have 2 different groups going on Monday and Wednesday, and another 2 groups going on Tuesday and Thursday.
So they're only getting 2 days of intervention?
The only day, yes, because the idea is to have a small connection with them instead of just throwing all 55 kids in a room. It will be too overwhelming. So that is the best scenario that we have right now during that lunch pizza.
And after school on Saturday, how long is that?
The after school is about it starts at 2:35. It ends at 3:30. The Saturday begins at 8:30. It ends at 12. And that particular intervention is actually based on math and science because we know from the data that kids struggle with the most in math. If you look at the failure rates, math is the subject area that they struggle with the most. So it is a math and science combination. But again, another component to it is the organization skills. So we're using the AVID model to support kids with that. So there's actually 3 different teachers, and the group of students rotate between each teacher. And
Where does that take place?
it takes place in the science wing.
Is there a particular room?
Let's see, it is G1, G8, and G7. Thank you.
Okay, wait a minute. G1, G what?
G1, G7, and G8.
Thank you. And didn't you say something about C?
No, see, it's
Okay,
yeah.
so on your after school, how many after school days is it?
It's Monday through Thursday.
Okay, so on Monday through Thursday, in G1, G7, and G8, you have
Yes.
students.
Yes,
And it starts at 2:35?
yes.
Thank you. And the weekend, where are they? The same classroom?
Same classroom,
Okay, thank you very much.
of course.
Mr. Malafine, of the 72 kids at risk, those kids received intervention services since the beginning of the year?
Absolutely, they received a lunch intervention, so what we're doing now is we're doing more intensive after-school intervention.
So, Mrs. Fan, those kids haven't been without services. We're just now trying to give something, as Mr. Malafine
But
said.
we had this huge problem at the end of the year. Come on. We knew this was a problem, that we aren't starting this Saturday and after school until January. Okay, so if you're saying you didn't start till now, are you saying that those kids can make it from January to June, that the
If they do
group,
the work.
out of these
Absolutely.
77, the
Absolutely.
majority of them
the-
will make it?
Absolutely, and another thing is that this is one session, we will have another session starting up after that, so they'll have another chance to pick up some more
One
credits.
session, what do you mean?
Well, it's waves of sessions that we're having, so, this, first session is gonna end in February, I believe, Mrs. Second?
It will end in late February.
Late February, and then after that, we start a second session again.
Another opportunity.
Another
for
opportunity for
Okay,
students.
are you talking to parents and saying your student needs to be here for this?
Absolutely,
Thank you.
absolutely. Not only are we talking to parents, parents are even coming in and sitting in those sessions. And so we are actively recruiting kids to be in there and make sure they attend because at the end, obviously, we all want to graduate. And one thing that's interesting is that after we came back from Christmas break, students are engaged because they know that graduation is right around the corner. So they're saying, okay, this is my opportunity to, get a credit, get back into the status of graduation. But again, as Mr. Samora says, they have to do the work. We don't want to water down the curriculum or the program because then we don't want
I've never heard anybody ask to have anything watered down.
Right.
I have asked for intervention early in the year so that they can get there.
Well, one thing that we did a lot at the beginning of the year, we researched for the appropriate intervention for students at the school, and we found out that after doing that research, that the best intervention would be for our own teachers to provide that support to kids, and that's what we developed. So we wanted quality.
I thought you had quality to begin with.
We always have quality.
Well,
Trustee Land, I can give the schedule for our session, the time to
well, I
Mr.
have it,
Zamora.
and I'm gonna be coming.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
so that was the last part of this report.
I had a quick question about where the IEP